Today we're going to be talking about Susan Wittig Lavender Lies. Get a good close up of that. I'm going to put the book down. I'm about to drop the book. I'm going to put the book down so that I could try to talk about Lavender Lies. So this Lavender Lies is book number 8 in Susan Wittig China Bayles series. As you guys know, I absolutely love this. It's a cozy mystery series, but I think it's a little bit above. It's a little bit above kind of like your standard cozy to me, and that is part because of the fact that China Bayles is such an exceptionally different, complex, and likable and identifiable character, you know. And I spoke of this before, that, you know, I love the character China Bayles for the fact that she has this parallel and duality about her. You know, in her former life, she was a criminal lawyer, criminal attorney, you know, defense attorney, blah, 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 how to get away with murder. And then in her current life, she lives in the small town of Pecan Springs, Texas, or Pecan for some of you folks. Pecan Springs, Texas, where she operates an herb shop, you know, that's under her name. She has the deeds to a herb shop, okay? So she's a herbalist, okay? So she has that duality about her. That is what assists her in solving, you know, the crimes or the murders that happen within the community that she sort of falls into. So she has that legal sense of a lawyer, you know, and then she has the intelligence and the knowledge of being, you know, of a herbalist. So that's why I really like China. And outside of that, I've spoken of this before, I like her because she's of that middle age between 40 and 45. She's not that young. Oh my God, I cannot stand these characters in cozy mysteries. But that young, daffy, donut shop girl that, yeah, I spoke of this before, paraphrasing what I said previous, that, you know, young daffy donut shop girl who, you know, she's in a love triangle and the only thing she can really think about is her dog and, I don't know, her body image. Oh girl, I cannot stand those kind of characters at all. Then on the flip side, which I found a lot more pleasant as a cozy mystery character, is China Bayles is not exactly that older, you know, gardening, knit, crocheting, sort of Miss Marple flavored character. So she's none of that. She's right in the middle, and she's interesting not only because of her change in careers, but, you know, she has she became a lawyer because of her father, you know, the pressure from him. And she succeeded as that, but she also has an alcoholic mother. She comes from money, but she kind of like pushed all of her past with money and wealth aside. And as it concerns this particular book, Lavender Lies, China Bayles is finally letting down her guard and getting married. It took us a long time. So she's going to be a wife at this point as well as a stepmother, which makes it another interesting aspect of the series. Is I love how this once stone cold, aloof, kind of straightforward character has to relearn or retrain herself to open up her, you know, her heart and that sort of thing to, you know, receiving an actual son and a husband. Just all these things that I really love about this series. But as it regards Lavender Lies, a real estate shark is murdered. You know, he was in the middle of a development project, and, you know, somebody axed him out of the game. But during this development project, he was trying to get like the agreements of several different city council members. I think there was about 7 of them. Many of them were not signing on to his project. Many of them have. Between his relationship with each of these suspects, there was a lot of blackmailing, affairs, money laundering. You know, each of the suspects, each of the city council members, they had different reasons as to why they may have or may not have murdered this particular contractor. And so while that is the A story, the B story is basically China racing to the end of the book to make sure that she pulls her wedding off successfully. And I love the fact that she's not like the girly girl. Like she gets to the place where she like, you know what, just put the damn cake out. I don't care. Let's just get to it. But at the same time, she wants to make sure that she pulls this wedding off. But the problem is that her fiance is also involved with the murder investigating process of what happened to the real estate shark. So they're both. It's kind of like she has to hurry up and beat him to it so she can wrap it up so that they can go ahead and get married, because she doesn't quite trust that he'll do it in time before their wedding on Sunday. As a woman, as a female character, she was using all of her resources at the same time to beat her fiance to the resolution of the case, while, you know, divvying out, you know, different jobs and talking to different people so that she can make sure her wedding came up on time. But I gave this book 3 stars primarily because of the A story involving the real estate shark, and I'll just go ahead and tell you why. There's 2 things that annoyed me about this. Well, I won't say annoyed, that I kind of didn't. I mean, it's not like I'm going to pick up. It's not like I'm not going to pick up the next book. But there's 2 things that I feel like kind of did a disservice to this book. One, I kind of feel like it's cheating when an author murders the victim off stage before we, the readers, have even met him or her. And that's what happened to the real estate shark within this book. He was murdered off stage, so we never, as the reader, we never got to engage with him or watch his engagement with different characters who would have the possibility of being his murderer. We never got a gauge of his temperament or his sensibilities, any of that sort of thing. So it was just like, here was the guy, here was some of his history, and you know, very early off stage in the book he was already axed. So that was kind of cheating. Had we got to know a little bit more about this character, I would have felt like the emotion sort of behind why each of these suspects may or may not have the potential of being his murderer. With that going, it's just like, okay, well, I hope she just figures it out. Another thing that kind of I feel like this book did a disservice of is that, you know, at the very end, Susan Wittig Albert, she had a plot twist. You know, with plot twist, the thing about it, you know, it's like, I don't know how to put this, but you have to lead the reader with increments of information as it goes along, and it has to be just enough of a balance of information that it strikes out as a possibility that, you know, it's in the mix, but you just don't know what it means. But what Susan Wittig Albert did is that I think very early on she started to lead us into the possibility of this plot twist. But then about time we got to the plot twist at the end of the book, it was just like, you know what, this is kind of unbelievable. I felt like this was just kind of a throw in, a rush job done within the whole context of the book, or within the whole context of the investigating process. So, you know, that was kind of a draw to me as well. At the end of the day, as I said with this series, you know, this is, you know, with the series, you have your good ones, you have the lackluster ones, you have your watered down ones, and then you have your really outstanding ones. And this was just kind of one of those lukewarm ones, because the investigating process was really just basically, you know, here is a list of 7 city council members, you know, let's go ahead and interview them, see what their means, motives, possibilities of being a murderer are, and then just it all culminates to that sort of a plot twist that I'm vaguely talking about. So it was just not, it's just kind of lukewarm. But that's it. At the end of the day, I did go ahead and read the next book in that series, which is Mistletoe Man, and hopefully while I'm holding this camera I can talk about that too. So Susan Wittig Albert's Lavender Lies, book number 8 in her China Bells mystery series, or cozy mystery series, though I think it is a little bit more exceptional than just a cozy. The book I give 3 stars.